You gotta have your certificate to show. Education. This is
Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. Education. Sparrow said it, and it's very, very important. But this week, we are actually getting ready for SEA. I don't know why I said next week earlier on, but it's the 21st of March is SEA. That's this coming Thursday. This morning, I want to welcome school psychologist Raquel Matthews to chat with us a bit about how we can keep students a little bit calm as we get ready for the SEA exams this Thursday. Good morning to you,
Good
Ms.
morning.
Matthews. How are you?
I am good so far.
Thank you. So far, she says yes. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
As we get ready for Thursday, what sort of advice would you give both students and parents in terms of things that need to be done this week to be as prepared as you can be, as calm as you can be, as mentally prepared as you can be, getting into that exam on Thursday?
Right, so the key word here is calm, which everybody has a different perception of what calm is. It's not saying you can't have emotions, because then everybody will think, what is this lady talking about? How can I not have emotions for SEA? The major thing is not to have that strong reaction to it. Manage to somehow understand we're going to feel a way and just really keep that emotions regulated. Why is this so important, right? Think about when you feel hungry. Are you functioning on all cylinders? Is that brain? No, you said, I am hungry. When is my next meal? The same thing with when you're focusing on your nerves, focusing on that big feeling. I'm scared. I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh. We're not going to be calm. We're not going to be able to focus. And that's the key thing. When I was here last, we were talking about anxiety and really managing that, the reactivity, keeping your heart rate down. Basically, you want the body to know, I'm okay. Once the body is okay, guess what? I'm concentrating. And what do we need for SEA? Logical thinking. And once we can do that, you're going to have your memory working. And we want that memory working because these poor children have been preparing for what, like standard 3?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less. So we want them to remember everything that they've been doing and that they're preparing for. So it's really just knowing we have emotions, but not letting it take over the system, like visualizing, like just being able to put it in a bubble and just like let it float away. Just let it go. Put all that little nerves, anxiety, and say bye.
Now, this message is for the students
and the parents.
Okay, because I know what to say. I think we should separate who is more anxious than the other. Because I know that we tell students that this exam is really important because it determines where your next stage of education lies. But for parents, they oftentimes get very anxious about it because they know, or they've been through, and they know the pros and the cons of it.
Exactly.
So in terms of, let's separate it and tell. Let's give some advice to the parents.
Sure.
What should the parents be doing to help the students be as calm as they can be?
So exactly, and I know, as I like to call us people, we're Trinidadians, Trinbagonians, we're very spirited, very passionate people. We talk with our hands, we're very animated, which we love. I love that for us. However, this week, let's watch our language, positive language, and let's look at our body language as well, tone of voice, everything. What I tell my students and my parents especially, think of a pond or a lake. It's calm on the surface, but there's stuff happening underneath. The fish are fishing, they're swimming, whatever they're doing. That's not my specialty. Everything is happening. Life is happening.
Right.
So
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing. But once you start to disturb that, so if you throw a rock in or something, you start to see ripples, and the ripples go and they come back. It's the same thing in the family environment. You could have one person, so the parent has to really be the lead. If you are running around, as I like to say, flapping, just think, oh gosh, I don't know. One time, that's going to just start to trickle down into your family. And I know we have big families in Trinidad. We love to live close to family and neighbors, etc. So if one person's like, oh gosh, tomorrow's SEA, whenever, you're going to have a reaction to your child. So let's keep it chilled. Really, the major thing is the language. I would beg Trinidad and Tobago, let's all be calm this week. Let's drive nice and friendly.
No, you're asking for too much. Yeah, you're overdoing it here, man.
No, but it's really just don't even focus about talking about the exam. They know that exam is coming.
Right.
Let's just talk about how can I manage my household. Can my household really be regulated and routined? We're having nice, regulated conversations, not parents arguing. Everybody's going to be stressed. Step away, walk outside if you're feeling overwhelmed. Basic things we know, as we should model for adults.
Now, the interesting thing for me is that during this week, work continues like normal, life continues like normal. However, the students in Standard 5 are getting ready for this exam.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying to keep the household as calm as possible. But, you know, I know that workplace challenges would still be happening. I know that school challenges will still be happening for some of the students as well, those who go into school, and you might have whatever issues that they're dealing with, be it as simple as, or as complicated as the case may be, as poverty, as hunger, as stress, as anxiety. All of these things are playing a part, and they still have to go and do this exam. What are some of the routines that maybe can help parents and the students to be more calm?
So honestly, you mentioned a big one like poverty. Meals right now, if we can just make sure our students are having some form of meal, especially on that morning. I know they're going to be nervous, even if it's a small piece of bread, just to feed that brain. We want them to have energy to deal with this exam. And honestly, we have simple things we can do. It's one thing we have free here is radio. Music can do wonders for that brain to calm it. Whatever's your vibe, it could be Bob Marley, it could be some religious tunes. I love soca, but soca might take the heart rate up a little. Nothing wrong with that, a little excitement. We don't want to get too excited, but it's really simple things. Also, outside. Everybody has access to outside. I'm not saying to go and get wild, because we don't want no last minute injuries. But taking a walk, sitting down on your patio, just really taking in that fresh air, taking those nice deep breaths, holding it, then releasing it, really is what we need to just manage ourselves for the next few days.
Now, as a school psychologist, what are some of the challenges that you've seen the students present in terms of what are they concerned about as they head to the exam or generally in the school environment?
Honestly, the major thing is if I don't do this, if I don't do good, don't do well, if I don't get my first choice, my life is over. And I'm like, how is life over? When did that happen? I'm a product of getting my second choice. My life didn't get over. It's really, I'm telling them, take control of what you can. You can only show up on that day being the best that you can be. Now, everybody's best is different. Somebody's can fly through the exam, good for them. Sometimes some others have to move slower. You have to show up doing your very best. And once you show up saying, I did my best, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can be disappointed. I ask all my students, are you going to walk into the exam, put your head down? Is that what you're going to look at me like, oh my goodness? I'm like, exactly, you're showing up and you're writing that piece of paper. But at the end of the day, all you can control is what you are doing on that day, how you've prepared, and just know I've been preparing for years. So there's some things that are going to be easy, some things might be really hard. Take your time, slow down, because you're going to finish. At some point, somebody might finish, but it has to end. And then leave that in the hands of the Ministry of Education.
And the Lord, as the case may be.
But yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the night before.
Right.
So as we get ready for the exam, Wednesday night, what should be the mood of the household, the environment? What sort of preparation should we be having the night before the exam?
Relaxed. Absolutely no discussion about doing a practice test.
None?
No, why?
No practice test?
No practice test. Could you imagine if you did a practice test and you got 3 or 4 wrong that you normally get right? What are you thinking when you wake up in the morning?
That's true. Okay. All right.
So,
I hear you.
I know parents are going to be like, this lady. I would say from now, even from probably on the weekend, I will not be talking about academics. They know what they have to do. The teachers have been working hard. Thank you to the teachers. I know this is not a fun job to have, especially when you're prepping for SE. But it's really just making sure your child has good sleep and just talking about anything. That's a major thing, just talking, having a relatively good time, spending quality time, having that open discussion. If they are having challenging thoughts in a sense, like I'm really nervous, well, let's talk about it. What are we nervous about? And I always make the joke, I was like, is that piece of paper a monster going to bite you when you put your pencil to paper? No, let's just look at it one question at a time. I'm not going to deny you're going to feel a little nervous. Some questions may be difficult, but you're prepared. You haven't just woken up today and decided, I'm going to write SCA today. You're not. That's not what's happening. So it's really just having a routine. Sleep is a major thing as well. I know some students prep by working late nights from 10 to 11. So let's just try to ease them up.
So no more late nights.
No more late nights.
As of this weekend.
Watch some TV.
Hello, all that?
Taking the news, yeah.
Taking the news? You know what, I'm getting anxious and you know what, I'm taking the news?
Well, we might have some good news this week, you never know, hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll have some great news this week. But in terms of teachers.
Yes.
What advice would you give teachers this week as they get closer to the exam? Like you said, we may have stopped practice exams by now. We might be trying to change the frame of mind, but some teachers might be saying, I'm concerned about this particular student. Are they ready? Should I be giving them more work to do this week?
I mean, if you know your student's not ready, they should have known a long time that they shouldn't be writing the exam. However, I think teachers have, like you said, give it up to God. Like, you have done what you've done. You should know in your heart, I've prepared my students as much as I can. Now, everybody's academic levels, abilities are different, but we treat everybody the same when we push, but you can't, how much further are you going to push? You just have to right now get them feeling confident as best they could be, and you feel confident in your teaching skills. I would hate to have a SEA 5 teacher come in and be like, I don't know. I'd be like, well, miss, I don't know, should you be teaching this year? But no, it's really just practicing. They study test-taking tips right now, underlining the important questions, those basic things that you can know could make a 1-point difference for a student.
Right. So we want to encourage revision in successful days, not necessarily active working, but revision, just to remember the things, to make sure you know the steps that you need to go through and all that sort of good stuff.
Maybe, depending.
Depending on the student.
I wouldn't say 100%, but every child is different. Everybody knows their child. Some child might get even worked up thinking, how could I not do work today?
Right.
So if they want to do a little something, but I would not say, like, it's not test. Like, you have to rush through and practice in that sense.
All right. And in terms of what we do after the exam, there's a recommendation.
Celebrate.
Celebrate.
You did it. Hopefully you don't have to do it again. But no.
And also, I want you to touch a little bit before we wrap on expectations and managing those expectations post-exam.
In fairness to our country, there's, as we know, we have the prestige and everything. Not everybody's going to get into that prestige school. There's however many thousand of them writing and however many open spaces. But we do have really good schools, and we have really excellent, passionate teachers. Don't let the name of the school make you think you're not going to get anywhere in life. It's what you show up, the effort you put. If I show up today, I can make a change. I'm not going to let a title or first choice, second choice, third choice. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you decide to take control of your education and put your best effort forward, doesn't matter where you go.
I think that's a brilliant place to end off this morning.
I think so.
It doesn't matter where you end up, as long as you put your best foot forward, and that's what we want to encourage you to do this coming Thursday as well, as you get ready for the SEA exams. Any closing words you want to leave with them?
Best of luck. They got this. They got this.
Couldn't say it better than that. Raquel Matthews, school psychologist, joining us to chat a little bit how you can be better prepared for the SEA exams this week. And by you, I mean both parents and students. Yeah? Take your time, take some deep breaths, make calm environment, positive talking, positive speech, and encourage your children to do their very best and just show up and present themselves accordingly. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Raquel.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Do enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you have a nice, calm, and peaceful week as well.
I hope so.
We'll take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show. Stick around.
You gotta have your certificate to show. Education, this is the foundation. Our rising